The next panel is Madonna Medina, Amanda Stevenson, Amber Pilkington, Dr. Kimberly Lopez, Ethelene Marshall, Mary Patrick, to be followed by Karen Elliott, Beulah Torgerson, Michael Kanufsky, Amy Schumann Long Manuel, Aloysius Naughton, and Michelle Mack. Madonna Medina. I love your name. Go ahead.
Thank you. My name is Madonna Medina, and I am testifying today in favor of SB1. I represent myself, and I'm from the city of Houston. I was hurt by abortion over 33 years ago. The memory was as if it was yesterday. I knew I was pregnant and was very happy about a new life growing inside of me. I was choosing life for my very first baby. I selected an OB-GYN that practiced in the same medical facility as my childhood doctor and my general practitioner, a safe place in my mind. I was not prepared for what ensued during my first visit. The nurse confirmed my pregnancy by saying, "You're pregnant, what are you going to do about it?" And I said, "I'm going to have my baby." She told me that I could always have an abortion and that it was an easy procedure and that I was young and I had my whole life ahead of me and that since I wasn't married, I would live a hard life as a single mother and that I would always be poor. And when the doctor walked into the examination room, he reiterated the same thing. Both he and his nurse began to bombard me with facts and statistics to support why I shouldn't continue my pregnancy and why abortion was the solution to my problem. I left his office in tears that day, resolving never to return. A few weeks later, though, the baby's father called and said that he had talked with his friends and decided the best thing for us was to abort the baby. We can have as many children as we want when we get married. The two people I thought I could trust were the very ones who swayed me. The day before the abortion, the nurses were shocked that I was as far along as I was in my pregnancy and wondered why the doctor was still performing an office procedure at almost 14 weeks. They said, "You should drink a bottle of wine before you come in for your abortion." That was the most horrific and painful experience of my life. I was fully awake during the procedure, no meds, just a local, which did nothing for me. Once the procedure began, I wanted to say stop, but it was too late. After what seemed like an eternity, it was over. I had screamed and cried as my child inside was torn out from me. I looked at the glass jar on the side of me to see if I would see the baby, and all I saw was tiny dismembered limbs in a sea of blood. That image was the memory I had of my baby for years. Immediately after the abortion, I felt some relief just because it was over, and my doctor and nurse tried to make me feel like I had done the right thing.
Amanda Stevenson.
My name is Amanda Stevenson, and I'm a researcher at the University of Texas at Austin. I also live in Austin. I am part of the Texas Policy Evaluation Project, a large 3-year investigation of the impact of the actions taken by the 2011 legislature affecting women's health in Texas. To give some concrete illustrations of the effect of the proposed legislation, we have selected 5 regions of the state and have examined the local impact in the document I have provided to you. I hope you actually got it. The example of the Rio Grande Valley is one of these, and it is particularly telling. Nearly 2/3 of reproductive age women in the region fall below 185% of the federal poverty level, and 2/3 of the DSHS funding dollars in that region were cut by the 2011 legislature. There were 2,634 legal abortions registered for residents in this region in 2011 before the likely increase in unplanned pregnancies resulting from those family planning cuts. How many of the women wanting an abortion in 2014 would be willing and able to travel the 240 miles to San Antonio for the procedure? How many would carry their unwanted pregnancy to term? How many would choose to self-induce or find an unregistered clandestine provider? The number will not be 0. These case studies begin to paint a picture of the impact of the ASC requirement on how women throughout Texas will seek care. 1.3 million reproductive age Texas women live more than 100 miles from the nearest ASC. The additional volume for the remaining ASC abortion providers will mean that women will have to wait a longer time to get an appointment, pushing them later into pregnancy when abortion is associated with a higher risk of complications. Faced with these obstacles, women may choose instead to try to self-induce their abortions, a phenomenon that our research is already documenting in our state. Both these outcomes will have a negative effect on women's health. Our research has demonstrated that women already face substantial barriers while seeking abortion care and that access to family planning has been substantially reduced. It is particularly cruel that just as the family planning cuts have come to have their greatest impact, the legislature proposes to further restrict poor women's access to reproductive health care.
Thank you, Ms. Stevenson. And in answer to your question, we do have your testimony.
Great.
Amber
Pilkington.
Go ahead.
Hello, my name is Amber Pilkington. I'm a licensed professional counselor in the state of Texas from San Antonio. I'm a summa cum laude graduate of 2 private universities in Texas. I've worked at a top 4 psychiatric hospital in the nation, as well as the prestigious Timberlawn Inpatient Trauma Unit, and I'm now in private practice. I'm also one of the youngest primary authors to have an article published in an AMA journal for my work on shame and guilt. I'm here today in support of Senate Bill 1. I would like to speak specifically to the 20-week abortion ban with regards to what I believe is a compelling public mental health concern. You may have heard testimony that there's no compelling health concern related to abortion because the American Psychological Association has stated that 1 first-trimester abortion does not increase the risk. With regards to the actual published studies, I would argue that the task force conclusions reflect a politically motivated bias in the selection of studies, analysis of literature, and its conclusions. In the interest of time, I will not verbally cite each, but will rather refer you to your packet. Many professional organizations have disputed the APA's conclusion, yellow tab, including 3 of the formal reviewers of the task force itself. We must note that it was based primarily on 1 study. Over 100 study citations can be found supporting my conclusions, orange tab. Roughly 30% of women who have had abortions experience major depression. In absolute numbers in the state of Texas, that's equal to the entire female population of San Marcos. 12.5% will make a suicide attempt. The rate of self-harm, drug and alcohol abuse also significantly increase after abortion. Men have adverse effects, blue tab. Relationships suffer, and many post-abortive couples experience stress and sexual dissatisfaction, 69%. Because of your excellent work on child abuse, Senator Uresti, I'd particularly like to direct you to the purple tab and the studies which show significant increase in child abuse and neglect following a mother's abortion compared to pregnancy loss.
I hate to cut you off, but I'm trying to be fair to everyone, but we all have your information. I greatly appreciate your having assembled this.
Doctor, just one point of clarification.
Dr. Garcia.
No, I'm the lawyer. The doctor was on the other
Senator
side.
Garcia, go ahead.
I just wondered if she could just tell me what APA is and APLOG.
Okay.
She uses that a lot, and I'm sorry, I don't
Sure, I'm
know
sorry.
that.
The APA is the American Psychological Association. This packet was also compiled with my husband, who is a member of the American Academy of Obstetricians and Gynecologists.
Very interesting. Thank you. Thank you. Dr. Kimberly Lopez. Is Dr. Lopez present? Dr. Lopez registered physician in opposition to the bill, but will just register physician, not testify. Ethelene Marshall.
Yes.
Go ahead.
My name is Ethelene Marshall. I live in Houston, Texas. Senator Dan Patrick is my representative, and I'm representing myself today. Thank you for letting me share my information with you. I would like to make 4 points. Number 1, I went to only one website and found out that 348 women, mothers, were killed by legal abortion. Of those, 16 definitely died in Texas abortion clinics. 76 at unknown locations, so some of them were probably also in Texas. And that's just one website. Do you care about these poor mothers and their families? Number 2, I keep hearing pro-aborts moan about the cost of cleaning up their clinics. That should be no problem to a nonprofit company that showed $18.5 million profit, 2009-2010. 46% for me and other taxpayers. Number 3, I listened to comments before the House Committee last Tuesday. I did not hear any speaker that was against HB 2 mention the baby, the innocent baby that they wanted killed without a second thought. The reasons against HB 2 were all selfish, as I am hearing today. All say, my body, my body. Do what you want with your body, but leave the baby alone. Number 4, you cannot ignore or underestimate God's Word. He will have the final say. There's no way around that. If you are wise, you will vote for life, not death. Thank you again. I ask for your love and compassion for these babies, future citizens, taxpayers, brothers and sisters, and also for these mothers who suffer so after killing their child. Please vote to pass SB 1.
Thank you. Mary Patrick? Mary Patrick here. Mary Patrick will be shown registering a position in opposition to Senate Bill 1.